What is the rudest thing you have experienced while eating dinner at a friend's house? 1. When I was about 10-11 years old, my friend Megan invited me to stay for dinner at her house. While my family wasn't poor, Megan's family was definitely more well off. I called my parents to ask permission and my dad said it was okay to have dinner at my friend's house, but he was making a roast, so I'd be missing out on a great meal. My dad was a great cook. When I found out Megan's mom was also making a roast, I thought it was a funny coincidence and told her my dad was making a roast too. She told me I was lying because we couldn't afford roast and men don't cook. I was taught not to talk back to or correct adults, so I just turned away and went back to playing with their dog. A couple minutes before dinner, I went to wash my hands and came back and everyone was seated in their chairs at the dinner table with china, silverware and glasses. They had a place setting for me with a paper plate, plastic utensils and a stool at an awkward corner of the table. They had more chairs and more dishes and silverware, but chose to treat me worse than themselves. I was raised to always give guests the best of what I had, so I felt especially bad sitting there on a hard stool eating with my paper and plastic while everyone else had dishes and silverware. When dinner ended, the house rule was that everyone had to put their dishes in the dishwasher. Well, I didn't have dishes, so I threw my paper plate and plastic utensils away. Then they served dessert, but not to me. The house rule is that you only got dessert if you put your dishes in the dishwasher. I didn't even have dishes, which I would have preferred and would have happily put everyone's dishes in the dishwasher. By the time my parents came to get me, I was on the verge of tears. I felt like I was being punished when I did nothing wrong. I later found out that other friends had the same experience when having dinner there, so it wasn't because I was rude or misbehaved. It was because they were jerks. 2. One time on a Jewish holiday, Elle went to dinner to a religious, Jewish, family's house. A young woman who came from a non-religious background arrived a bit later. I do want to point out that religious Jews have very strict laws about what they can and cannot eat. So anyway, this young woman, let's call her Susie, had put in tremendous effort to make a huge traditional dessert according to kosher law. Kosher means that it can be eaten. Everything was going fine until the son of the couple living in the house started whispering. Then Elle saw the mother walk over to Susie and whisper something in her ear. Susie became very upset, and asked me to step into the hallway with her. Apparently, the son of the household had deemed her food unfit for consumption. The food that she had worked so hard on. She asked me if Elle would take it home with me, and Elle said Elle would. We returned to the table and at some point an argument happened between me and the son. He claimed that he had made the right decision. I told him that he was wrong. Later Elle went to my rabbi and asked him about it. The rabbi said that the dessert absolutely should have been served, and that he would have had seconds of it. The spirit and law of Judaism looks more harshly upon humiliating and hurting someone's feelings than potentially eating non-kosher food. 3. When I was in college, I and a few other people from a class were invited to a mutual friend's house for dinner. My friend's parents were there and they were gracious and friendly hosts. Everything started off fine. We ate some delicious Italian food and talked about a bunch of different things. When it came time to clear the table, we all offered to help with cleanup and dish